today's video, I'm gonna be giving you 10 years of brutally honest fat loss advice. So in this video, you're gonna hear me talk about some concepts that I talk about a lot on this channel, but I'm pretty excited to make this video because there's a couple other just things that mean a lot to me in terms of fitness and weight loss and are very personal to me or something that I struggled with. So I definitely have some passion behind some of the things I'm gonna say. And by the way, I just wanna preface by saying, I don't want people to feel attacked by this video, but I am gonna be direct with you. If you want to lose weight and get fit, sometimes you need a little bit of tough love. So in this video today, I'm gonna try to give you some actionable advice without getting too riled up. Let's get into it, baby. Here's some brutally honest fat loss advice. You think that you need more information, new supplements, new workout programs. You don't. You need to do the workout programs and eat real food and sleep and drink water and do the things that you've been putting off forever. Your problem is not that you need a new gadget or a new workout methodology. You just need to work out and be consistent about it. I tend to see in fitness and health a lot, everyone is always looking for the easiest way possible, which I totally get. I do that in other areas of my life. But because of having this job and this being my life, I do understand that you just can't take shortcuts. If you want to get good at something, if you want to achieve anything, you need to stick it out and do the hard work. Number two, you're eating too much. You're just eating too much. That's plain and simple. I made a video a while back called literally the only reason you're not losing weight. For most people, now some people have diseases that prevent them from losing weight, but let me put it this way. Most of the people watching this channel do not have an issue losing weight. You are just eating too much. You think you are counting your calories, but you're not counting everything. And you know it. You're snacking and you're like, well, no, I only had a little bit. No, you are eating too much food and you think you are exercising a ton and you think you're eating a little bit when it's really the other way. You're eating too much and you're not exercising hard enough. That is the brutally honest truth. Look yourself in the mirror, get after it, and hit your calories and macros if that's what you're trying, if you're trying to lose weight. By the way, check out our free nutrition calculator that's linked up here. Put your information in and it gives you exactly how many calories and the macronutrient breakdown of how much you should be eating in order to gradually lose weight. And it's a great starting place, so I'd recommend checking it out. All right, next. If you don't have other hobbies involving movement, it will be harder to stay lean. I can sit here and talk about diet, habits, and blah, 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 but I have a very active lifestyle. So yes, I do exercise, I do my workouts, but I also just move my body all the time. This morning, I was surfing for 2-3 hours. So that right there burns a ton of calories. And then I'm doing, my exercise through jump rope, push-ups, pull-ups, and things like that. My recommendation would be try to find at least one hobby that involves movement. Could be volleyball, could be squash. It could be going on group hikes. I keep seeing all these run clubs popping up everywhere, although, I'm pretty anti-running, but it is cool that people get together and do that kind of thing if you're into it. But yeah, get a hobby that involves movement. Next, alcohol, weed, and sugar in excess are gonna ruin your fat loss goals. There's no reason to have these substances in your body. And guess what? I consume all those substances. Some of you probably don't even drink alcohol or smoke weed. And if you don't, then don't start. There is no reason to drink alcohol. Alcohol is literally poison. Smoking, you don't need to smoke. I prefer to smoke. I don't do it all the time, but it is something that I enjoy and I know the consequences that come with it. Alcohol, yes, I do drink and I enjoy it, but again, I try to do it in moderation. Sugar, I've been slowly eating less and less and less sugar. I used to have a really big problem with sugar, which is crazy because even at my leanest, when I had veins in my stomach, when I first started Jump Rope Dudes, that's when I had the worst relationship with sugar because I wouldn't eat sugar all week and then I would binge eat a ton of it. Now I get most of my sugar through fruit. One last thing about alcohol, weed, and sugar. In life, guys, everyone has a vice. Whether you want to admit it or not, if let's say you don't drink or smoke, you might be someone who drinks too much Coca-Cola. What I'm saying is we all have vices, and my recommendation to you is just pick one or two vices. I don't necessarily think that life needs to be this you never do anything, you're perfect, you never consume any kind of substances or whatever. You don't have to live that way. You can have you can have a little fun, you can party a little bit, but just pick your vices smartly. So I'm going to be straight with you. Here's my vices: weed and light beers. I love me a good surf session and a little hit of that joint and a couple Coronas, you know what I mean? So because I do that, I don't go overboard in other areas. I can't have like 5 different vices. I can't be drinking, smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, doing cocaine, eating McDonald's and eating a bunch of sugar and expect myself to feel good and be healthy. But if you are gonna go out and drink alcohol, then you should go dancing. Because one thing I've noticed throughout growing up is that whenever I was drinking excessively, if I was out dancing, I would just sweat so much, and it would at least clean out some of those toxins, and I would still be lean because I'd be dancing so much. I would be so sweaty to the point that most people thought, like, girls would come up to me and be like, "You're on drugs," and I'd be like, "Damn, I've had a couple of drinks, but I'm just like sweating through all my clothing because I'm dancing so much." So if you are gonna go out, my recommendation would be go dancing. Next, if you don't have a why, you're not gonna stick to your goals. And you know what? Your why doesn't have to be some virtuous thing. Like, it could be, I wanna be there for my kids, or I just wanna be healthy because it's like virtuous to be this way. No, dude, I wanna be healthy and I wanna look good so that women can look at me and be like, "Oh yeah, Danny boy, let's go." You know, like, I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. A big motivation for me being in shape is attracting the opposite sex. And the other side of that is this toxic thing I have with myself where, like, I kind of have a little bit of self-hatred. And if you meet me in person, or most people that know me would be like, "Dude, Dan's super chill. Like, he's, you know," I almost think sometimes, like, "Dude, do you care about anything?" But then I have this other side of me with certain things, and my fitness and health is one of them, that I'm like an absolute crazy person. Like, if I overeat or something, the next day I'm like, "No way, Dan. That's not how we do this." And I almost am like masochistic. Like, I like the feeling of putting myself in pain because it makes me feel like I'm achieving something, I'm overcoming something, I'm overcoming a challenge or something like that. Don't worry, I've spoken to my therapist about this a lot to deal with whatever psycho tendencies and self-hatred I have. My point to this is you need to have a why. If you don't have a why that you want to lose weight and stay fit and healthy, you're just not going to do it. It's not going to be as important to you. Get brutally honest with yourself and be like, "Yeah, I just want to attract chicks, or I want to attract a dude, or I want to, you know, I just can't sit still. I can't sit still. I have to move. So I might as well put this energy into something." And that's another good point. I'm someone who has a very addictive personality. I have a very extreme personality. I can't just do a little bit of something. I got to go the whole way in. I could go the whole way in on drugs and messing up my life, or I could go the whole way in on jumping rope and, you know, being addicted to fitness. Even if some people think that's unhealthy, I'd rather have that addiction than something that's negative. Which leads me to the next one. You're just not being consistent. You keep stopping and starting instead of creating the habit that you need to get yourself fit. You work out for a month and then you fall off for 2 months, and then you work out for a month, and you keep going on this cycle forever. And that's why you're not losing weight. You have to tell yourself, like, this is what we're doing now. These are the habits that I've committed to, and I'm going to do it until I get the result. And then I'm going to keep doing it to maintain that result. All right, next, if you don't do some form of resistance training, AKA bodyweight exercises or weightlifting, it will be harder to lose body fat and it will be harder to look ripped. Whether people often hit me up and they're like, "Dan, if I just jump rope and lose a bunch of weight, am I gonna look like you?" And I'm not even like that big of a guy, but I'm lean and I have a decent amount of like muscle that I feel like I've added throughout the years. If you just jump rope, yeah, you might lose weight, or if you just do cardio like cycling or running, you might lose weight, but you are not going to get that lean, aesthetic, and cut physique, which I know most of our audience is looking for, because judging based off our analytics, 75% of the viewers are males from the ages of 18 to 30. So I know that y'all want to get that V-cut, ripped, shredded physique. You have to do weightlifting, or for me, it's push-ups, pull-ups, and then I do the heavy ropes. Another thing is, if you are adding muscle, that muscle is going to require more calories to exist, like to maintain your muscle. So if you build muscle, you are going to increase your resting metabolic rate, which is just how many calories you burn just sitting here without exercise. And that is the key to being lean, is if you can increase your metabolic rate, it sometimes doesn't matter how much you are working working out because your metabolism's like, you know, we got a big guy here filled with muscles and he needs, you know, he's burning. So you're able to eat more calories. And in turn, you're able to lose more weight because it's easier to create a calorie deficit. I want to interrupt this video to talk about Black Friday because there's some huge discounts that you guys can take advantage of both for Crossrope and the JRD app. So first, let's talk about Crossrope. 25% off site-wide and you don't need a code. So just go to the link that you see up here on the screen. We also have it linked up in the description of this video. Crossrope is offering 25% off of everything. And then they also have larger discounts on other select things. So 30% off select bundles and sets, save 40% on apparel, save 50% on freestyle and beaded ropes, save 50% on the WOD prep jump rope set, and save 10% on their new product, the spin jumper. The Crossrope Black Friday sale is going to run from November 20th until December 6th. As far as the JRD app is concerned, we are offering a full year membership for 50% off. So the code for that is 50BF, but for a whole year access to the JRD app, it's $82. That is insane. The JRD app is the best way if you're someone who wants to make a transformation and be held accountable. That's the best option to do it. We also have an accountability forum in there to make sure everyone is sticking to their goals. I'm also in there giving people coaching and just you have access to me that you don't have on other social platforms. So that's Black Friday. Check it out and let me know if you have any questions. Now, don't get discouraged about this one, but genetics play a massive role, like it or not. Some people are just going to have not that much trouble building muscle and staying fit. Some people will. Who cares? The principles that I talk about on this YouTube channel apply to everyone. Some people are going to have different results with those, but the rules are the same for everyone. Move your body, eat whole, nutrient-dense food, drink a bunch of water, sleep, etc., etc. Stop comparing yourself to other people. There's people that I will straight up never look like, and there's people who will straight up never look like me, and that's okay. There's always going to be someone bigger than you, and there's always going to be someone smaller than you, or fatter than you, skinnier than you, richer than you, poorer than you. It doesn't matter. So just right now, you want to be able to look yourself in the mirror and be like, you know what? I feel good about this. I feel good about this physique, and I know that someone's gonna look at me and be like, oh, that physique? That's a snack. Just don't compare yourself. That's what I'm saying. Next up, brutally honest truth about fat loss. Being ripped like 5 to 6% body fat, even 7% body fat all year round is not fun. And the people that are that ripped either are genetic freaks, which again, don't compare yourself. You can't do anything about it. And I know some of these people, and that's dope. Like that's dope that they're just able to stay that lean with it being healthy. Most people at 7% body fat are not going to be healthy, especially guys. You are going to see dips in your testosterone and your sex drive. And you're also just going to feel like shit. Your energy levels are going to be low. Basically what I mean is like being super, super lean all the time is not very fun. And you can't enjoy, you're constantly like counting your calories and looking how much down to the exact gram of something. It's not a fun way to live. Like if you really want to lose weight, I don't think it's okay to be like, oh no, I'm okay with where I'm at. Like I want to be lazy and not do anything. But I also think it's detrimental on the opposite end of the spectrum to be so obsessed with being ripped all the time that your life just sucks. Like what's the point of life if you have muscles and you're just ripped, but that's all you do? What are you doing? Why are you here? Another food related one. You are not prioritizing your protein. Dude, just stop making this complicated. Eat more chicken, eat more beef, eat more fish. Just eat that, eat more eggs. Prioritize your protein and you will not be as hungry. By the way, we have a video called My Super Simple Diet for Staying Really Lean Year Round. And it just talks about like my diet over the past couple years has switched to where I eat ground beef, chicken, ground turkey, salmon, bacon, eggs, strawberries and blueberries every single day, bananas, nuts. And that's kind of it. Kimchi. I eat a lot of kimchi. But what I'm saying is those foods I just mentioned, that's like most of my diet. And yes, I put sauces and seasonings on to make it even better than it already is, a little bit of cheese. But what I'm saying is I just eat a super high protein diet and I get most of my carbs from real food sources. So that being mostly fruit and some vegetables. I hit a sweet potato every now and then, you know, a little sweet potato, little asparagus on the side of the ribeye steak, you know. Next up, you're being impatient. You're being impatient because we live in a world where everyone wants everything yesterday. That's not how this works. Stop being impatient. Stop focusing on the outcome. You're in this for the long haul. Shut up and get to work. Some more brutally honest fat loss advice. Exercise will do nothing if you're not in a calorie deficit. So if you're eating a bunch of food, but you're exercising all the time and your goal is losing weight, you are just literally wasting your time. Fat loss doesn't get harder as you age. You're being lazy and you're making excuses. Now listen, I know you guys are like, no, Dan, there's scientific proof that people when they get older, it's harder to lose weight. I know, I get that. I know that like our bodies do slow down at the cellular level and things like losing weight and our metabolism and stuff, it's not the same as when you're 20 years old and you're just raring to go. But I think a lot of people just make this excuse like, oh, I'm getting old, so I'm in pain and my metabolism's slow. I'm like, no, dude, you just are sitting around all day eating a bunch of food and drinking a 40-ounce Starbucks. Like, that's why you're gaining weight. It's not because of your body. It's because you're just sitting there or you're just not doing enough that is required to lose weight. So I'm not saying that getting older doesn't slow down the weight loss process a little bit, but I've seen so many people who just like older people in their 50s, 60s, even 70s who just don't buy into that and are ripped and look amazing. And because they're just like, I'm not just gonna turn 60 and be like, well, I'm 60, so I guess I have to act like a 60-year-old now. Like, dude, you're alive. Go get it. Another brutally honest truth about fat loss. Worrying about more than 10 pounds of weight gain or loss is stupid because your body is always changing. I woke up today, I weighed 197 pounds. I'm gonna go to bed, I'm gonna weigh 206. You know what I mean? The body is always in a state of fluctuation, and the food you eat, the water you drink, all that kinds of stuff is making you lose and gain weight throughout the day. Don't be so focused on these little ups and downs on the scale. If you gain 25 pounds, then I would be like, okay, something needs to change here. If you lose 25 pounds really like too fast, like within a month, I would also be like, okay, something needs to change here. Maybe I need to just be eating more and more protein so I don't lose weight that drastically. But the little, 3 to 5 up to 10 pounds that we lose, throughout the day, week, 1 week we're 190 pounds, the next week we're 200. Don't worry so much about that. Another brutally honest truth that I kind of brought up, you're focused on the outcome and not the habits. This is very near and dear to me because the example I always give is surfing. Some days I've been surfing for almost 5 years, and some days I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe how much I've progressed. I can't believe how much I'm just able to be, I'm just swimming. I never used to be a swimmer, and now I'm just out here. I have like unlimited energy. I can go into like pretty, not huge waves, but like pretty big waves and feel comfortable. And then I have other days where I'm just like, dude, this is so hard. And I see like other people surfing and I'm like, they're so good. And they've literally been surfing for like 30 years, but I'm comparing myself to them and I get in my head of like, oh, I'm never going to be that good because I'm worried about the outcome. I'm worried about, I want to surf like that, but I don't want to put in the time, or like, oh, they're so much better than me. Just shut up and keep going. Like, that's what I tell myself. Even on bad days when the waves aren't even nice, I just go and I get in the ocean. And I've always told myself, like, I'm going to do this for 15, 20 years. And then I'm going to assess myself and be like, did I become a good surfer or not? But before that point, it doesn't matter. Some days I'm going to have great days. Some days I'm going to have horrible days. I don't care. I'm just going to keep going. So don't worry about the outcome. Worry about creating the habit to do the thing that's going to get you there eventually. Next up, brutally honest. Real food equals easy to lose weight. Not real food equals hard to lose weight. It's real simple, guys. If you are in the grocery store and you're eating things from boxes and packaging and cans, it's just going to be hard to lose weight. Just eat real food. Like, just eat food that comes from the earth or from an animal, from a plant, on a tree, in the ground. The earth was set up so that we have everything we need to live an optimal and healthy lifestyle. So eat real food and eat as little fake food or processed food as you can. And lastly, I'd like to leave you guys with a Tibetan proverb. I think it's from Tibet. I don't know. I did a quick Google search. I found this thing that said, eat half, walk double, laugh triple, and love without measure. The reason I wanted to end the video that way is because I think sometimes losing weight and being healthy and fit seems very complicated. And I'm not saying like, oh, if you just eat half and walk, you'll be totally fine. But I love this quote for its simplicity of like, if you want to live a good life, man, stop stuffing your face. Move your body, try to remove as much stress as you can from your life. I know everyone is dealing with a number of different issues and things that can be very stressful. Life is stressful, but if you're able to find the good in life and laughter and just love people, good people that are good to love, don't love the wrong people. Learned that the hard way. If you can just have this kind of simple approach to life and just move your body, don't eat so much, try to have a good time, I do feel that it will be easier to live, your life will be more fulfilling, and it will be easier to hit your health and fitness goals as well. All right, guys, so this is kind of a long video, and I put a lot of thought and intention into it, so I'd love to hear your feedback, your comments. Yeah, let me know. What's up? What do you struggle with? Was I too brutally honest? Was I not brutal enough? Should I have been more brutal to you guys? At the end of the day, man, I hope this just helps you, because life is filled with so many awesome things, and losing weight and your fitness routine shouldn't be the front and center of your life. So let me know in the comments. See you guys on the next video.